Before we begin, a quick note. This conversation is about much more than ranks, job titles, or career milestones. It's about the decisions, experiences, pressures, trade offs, and lessons that come along with building an ambitious career. The objective is not to glorify struggle, nor it is to discourage ambition. It is simply to present a bigger and more honest picture of life beyond degrees, titles, and professional success. And joining me today is Akshay Jain, from securing All India Rank 1 in both CA Inter and CA Final to working as a consultant at BCG and now in private equity at Blackstone. Akshay has had a remarkable journey across CA consulting and finance. In this conversation, we'll talk about ambition, career choices, elite jobs, success, pressure, life outside work, and everything in between. So, welcome, Akshay. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, do we?
So you secured Air 1 in CA Inter, you secured Air 1 in CA Final, then you worked in BCG as a consultant, and now you're currently working in Blackstone. So your life seems very sorted from day one. How far is that from reality?
Uh, I mean, this is not, you are looking at it in hindsight, but right from the beginning, this was not the journey that was like predetermined or anything. तो step होता है ना, आप CA करोगे पहले, and then you figure out what you want to do next, and then you figure out what's better out there. So this is like a step-by-step journey that you also learn along the way of what is there, what is something that you can do next, what is something that you can pursue next. It's in hindsight, it looks like sorted, but on day one, I did not know if you know, uh, I did not know about CA, what is CA, CA कैसे करते हैं, कुछ पता नहीं आता, तो you learn along the way. It's not sorted from day one के हाँ मतलब I don't know now, maybe people know better कि CA करके क्या कर सकते हैं या नहीं कर सकते हैं, but I did not know, I did not have the slightest clue what private equity was, what consulting was when I started my CA.
आपका भी ऐसा ही था, you were also figuring things out step by step, या आपने पहले से ही पूरा प्लान कर दिया था कि BCG का प्लान किया हुआ था, I want to get into BCG only?
No, not right when I started CA. Again, मतलब consulting का concept नहीं पता था उस time क्या होता है. So, of course, podcasts like these also help you hear people who have done the same thing, and then you learn about those things, and you see, what kind of a job that is, or what do people usually do there, and then you want to go there. So it's something that you learn along the way.
So the general crowd, जो general CA के लोग या even in CFA, MBA, finance, people will always think or have an image कि जो भी air है, companies come and approach them to come and join their organization. Is that true, or is it half true, or what is the story behind this thing?
I honestly don't know. I don't remember having any inbound calls के आ जाओ join us or whatever. That does not happen. I don't know if my attempt was off. Like it was a COVID attempt in my inter. I'm not sure if that's usually the norm, but that does not happen. That company.
Even you had to.
I mean, there are opportunities that are have a rank preference or have a rank criteria or have an articleship criteria, but of course you have to go and present yourself or like just send your CV to an email ID. Nobody is coming and asking you, okay, give us your CV.
Okay, so you secured Air 1, that was done. But when you were actually entering the workforce, आपके साथ और भी candidates हो गए. Were you getting preference there? क्योंकि आपका rank था, और once you are shortlisted and there are other candidates with you as well, तभी selection process कैसा हो रहा था? It was completely on his work intelligence, or did rank give you a step?
I think just until the selection or shortlisting phase, you could get that preference because you've not spoken to the company, you've not presented how well spoken or how articulate or how smart you are up until that point in time. But I think after that, it's all basis how your interviews go or how your tests go or things like that. I don't think post that after a point ranks matter.
I think a lot of people believe that once you get Air 1, life somehow becomes easier. Was there a moment after Air 1 where you realized people had suddenly started treating you differently? Like your close ones, your family members, your friends, were their behavior shifting more towards formal behavior, or was there any change?
Initially, people are just proud, people praise you, but it dies down. मतलब ठीक है हो गया ना अभी, like it's 2 months into the past, it's 1 month into the past, and then things normalize back. But again, like people are just happy, people are proud of you. So that is there for like a month or two. But then after that, you are friends, your family.
Again, back to normal.
You come back to normal. And as I said, in professionally also, you get preferences for maybe shortlist. You get a shortlist better. But post that is just how your interviews go or how how you present yourself.
Great.
Yeah.
Sometimes achievements become so big that they almost become someone's identity. Do you ever feel people see the achievements first and the person later?
So I've stopped talking about it. Uh, I honestly have never introduced myself as that. Uh, it stops becoming your identity only if you like stop bringing it forward. If I were to go for ask for a job interview, I would of course in my CV that's the first line that you'll see. But that's not how you talk to normal people on a day-to-day basis, right? I mean, it keeps on changing. Maybe professionally, your identity could remain that you are probably ex-BCG, ex-private equity, whatever, right? That could be your identity for next go forward roles when you are finding things professionally. I don't think personally you should attach these things to your identity, or that's how you speak about yourself when you first meet somebody. Uh,
So
Maybe it's dependent on person if somebody wants to do that, even 5 years down the line, say that they are rank one or whatever.
So yeah, just about this topic. So when I'd seen you earlier, I didn't know that you were working in these organizations or you were a ranker. And I'd seen you. I just saw he's a guy lives with me, lives in my society, same gym. But when I got to know you had secured Air One in final and inter both. Even the way I was thinking about you earlier, जब मैं देखता था लगता था हाँ बस बिल्डिंग का है देखा हुआ है. But when I got to know this thing about you, and then when I saw you again, so even my perspective looking at you, it changed.
You have the answer to your question right there. I mean, look, of course, if we would have spoken about some other things, I don't think there would have been that massive shift that you're talking about. But like after a month or two, you would also yourself normalize to the fact, right? I mean, you would not think of this as the first thing when we speak or when we are having any interaction. Maybe does have an impact. You yourself are doing a CA, so maybe that also, you know, uh,
Maybe that also made me think क्योंकि
Yeah,
मेरे fraternity के हो गए उसमें he's Air One.
हो सकता है ना ऐसे.
So I think people assume once someone gets Air One, the confusion in life ends. But I don't think that's actually true. Every CA student goes through some version of these dilemmas. Big Four versus mid-size, audit versus finance, brand versus learning, money versus work life. Did you go through the same confusion?
Honestly, did not have a lot of options to go through the confusion. As in my anchor attempt was right before lockdown, so I did not have the option to go get a Big Four because going outside my hometown, Ahmedabad, was difficult. Right? How would you decide what if the lockdown happens again? Right? What would you do then? And then I think in my hometown also Big Four stopped hiring. So I don't think I had the luxury of options or the dilemma. But I think you should probably just look at making the best of what you have. I mean, play the cards that you've been dealt with, right? I mean, make the best out of whatever you get, right? If you have access to audit, just focus on learning Excel, focus on learning what a financial statement means, right? My point is brands will help also because your future employers may look at it from a brand perspective where you've done, because there's a perception that maybe if you've done an articleship at a Big Four, you're more polished or you know more things. So that is it. But I think it's a decision that a person to person should differ, depending on what you want to do, what you want to learn.
But just for chaos, if you have to choose between these two, just like a rapid fire answer one, Big Four or mid-size.
I honestly had no experience of Big Four, so कैसे बोल दूं Big Four?
No,
Mid-size.
given you've lived this phase already of
हाँ,
every CA student,
हाँ.
Big Four or versus mid-size,
नहीं, I'll have to stay true to my alma mater, no? Mid-size.
audit or finance,
Finance.
brand or learning.
Depends on what phase of life are you in. If you want to go for an industrial training, I don't really like rapid fires. I have to have a reason for things.
ब्रांड मतलब हाँ तुम्हें डेलॉइट में जाना है लर्निंग तुम्हें वही हो गया तुम्हें स्मॉल में जाना है
Maybe I cannot do rapid fires. I need to give context to everything and a background. I mean, it depends if you uh really want to, just uh, because initially I think brand really matters because your future employers will attribute some of it to your brand also. I think it matters.
in the long run it always has to be learning.
Yeah, personally.
And last, money or work life.
Difficult.
Less money, peace, or more money but a little off balance in life, that's okay.
I think you need to have phases. Initially, you could have money, less work life, but in the long run, I think everybody solves for work life. Unless you like really, really like your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then comes the phase everyone dreams about, elite jobs and top firms. People spend years trying to get into top companies. What is something students romanticize about these careers that turns out to be completely different in reality?
Let me think. मतलब you can of course edit it.
मतलब बाहर से हम तीनों के नॉर्मल कोई सीए सोचते भाई ब्लैक स्टोन में गया इसका तो इतना बड़ा पैकेज होगा, जिंदगी इसकी तो शॉर्ट है, कमा रहा होगा, काम भी एकदम क्रीम काम मिल रहा होगा, given your
Let me answer this from a perspective that uh, there are always people who have been in these jobs. I mean, it's very, it's, I've not done the job for like, let's say 5 years or 3 years. I'm also pretty new to the job, nearly a year or so, right? So I would answer this from perspective that there are people who are always leaving these jobs, right? There are people who want to do different things, who want to do better things. So you cannot romanticize the fact that once you are here, think everything is all done and dusted and sorted. Everybody figures out in these jobs also, right? Do you want to continue? Do you want to do this on a different scale, right? Or do you want to do something of your own? So there are always people who are leaving these jobs. That's happening, I don't know, partly for whatever reason, right? You want to pursue something else. I wouldn't really call it कि हाँ भाई यहाँ आ गए तो everything's sorted, or you cannot do anything better. Different kinds of aspects that people miss about these jobs is that you have access to a bunch of very smart people, right? Industry experts, industry leaders who you are speaking to, frequently in these jobs. You get to learn a lot. It's a steep learning curve. I think that's an aspect that people probably miss out on when thinking about these jobs, right? That is something that should be highlighted on how these jobs help you, secure maybe a better network. Of course, the pay is well, right? And the quality of learning that you get initially, or like even when you are like into the job for a couple of years, I think you just keep on learning new things. If that is something that excites people, I think that is an aspect that's less looked at.
that is a better perspective to look at these roles. From the outside, these jobs look exciting, prestigious, and glamorous. What part of elite careers feels exhausting from the inside? Actual में तो when you are living that life, you are actually working. बाहर से हमें सिर्फ पैसा ही दिखता है और कंपनी का नाम दिखता है. Actually, how exhausting it is working there.
I think people know that these jobs are intense, right? There are, of course, phases and periods where, it's quite hectic, it's quite intense when you are on a diligence or, like in the middle of a deal. It's quite intense. It's quite, I mean, there's just a lot to do. It's nobody's fault. But there's just so much to do that some phases can be quite exhausting, right? You're just sleeping. Is the only time that you probably have during the day, right? And you're not able to do. But these are like short sprints, I would say. These are not, sustained periods of exhaustion. I would not call it that. But yeah, I think the risk and reward is worth it.
But if we look in the hindsight, these are the periods, these are the phases that actually make us value when
But these are quite intense periods of learning. You are learning a lot, and you're applying all of that learning a lot. You are helping make decisions. So that's also different, but it can be something.
We often hear people talk about hard work. We hear much less about setbacks. What has failure taught you that success never could? सब सक्सेस देखते हैं बट फेलियर ने आपको ऐसा क्या सिखाया है जो सक्सेस शायद नहीं सिखा पाए. कभी तो जिंदगी में फेल हुए होगे, नॉट अकेडमिकली और प्रोफेशनली, कोई भी एस्पेक्ट ऑफ लाइफ में कहीं तो फेलियर और डिफीट देखा होगा. सो व्हाट डिड दैट टीच यू व्हिच सक्सेस नेवर कुड?
I think I give a very no examples answer to this. I think failure probably teaches you gratitude in general. Like when you have tried all the options and you don't seem to get a door open or things like that. I think it teaches you gratitude for whatever you have, right? Your health, your friends, your families, whatever currently you are pursuing. I think it teaches you gratitude for that, and just being thankful for that. It does not mean that you stop pursuing bigger and better things, but it just makes you appreciate whatever you have currently better.
That's a really true and relatable and practical answer. पहली बार मैं भी फेल हुआ हूँ, जो मेरे को हिट हुआ है ना परसों, humble कर दिया एकदम मुझे वो. Did you ever have imposter syndrome sitting in rooms with extremely smart people?
I think I live in a bubble, but how I've started to feel about it in general is that people have had more experience, right? Maybe people have dealt with similar things in a manner, right? Maybe a similar problem in a different situation that helps them understand this better than what I do, right? Maybe with time you will also start to appreciate things or give a perspective in a different angle than what you see today. I think that's how I started to deal with it. But yeah, it happens.
So इसी पे when you had cleared CA final, you secured A1, you must be on cloud 9. तभी आपने जब workforce enter किया था, you must be feeling somewhere कि Air 1 है, थोड़ा special feel हो रहा होगा when you entered, and now when you've actually worked for almost 3 years now, और अभी आप दूसरे लोगों के साथ भी बैठे हो, people more senior than you, और अभी कैसा मानना है? What is the difference when you had just entered the workforce And now, given you worked with people at better post, people of higher level, people, sector experts, you work with these people. Now, how do you feel about working?
Nay, to your first point, I did not really subscribe any value to the fact that given that you just, gotten these marks or gotten these ranks, you are better off than anybody else. I mean, everybody who's coming and joining the same place as you are equally competent and have done equally great, like just academically or whatever, right? Objectively. I mean, they've been at better or like equally important places, right? So you cannot subscribe any value to the fact that just because you've secured these marks or whatever, you are better off than them or you'll be, smarter than them. Everybody's there to learn and, everybody's done their part to be there. So, like, you cannot just be, ke, हाँ, वही मुझे सब आता है. You should just keep an open mind and learn from everybody.
A lot of students assume these firms only hire the smartest people in the room. How much of getting into firms like these is actually intelligence, and how much is communication, awareness, confidence, and people skills?
I think what you missed out on the fact is that access to interviews or getting shortlisted, right? These firms have whatever, some objective criteria in terms of what degree you've done or where you've done it from or what marks did you get, right? That access maybe stops a lot of other smarter people who've been doing the same work, right? To getting into getting like even a short list or an interview at these places. But I think that is an important aspect that people miss out on. But again, yeah, everything matters, right? Your communication, your articulation. You cannot be smart and be smart in your head. You have to let people know that you know how to explain things to people in a simpler, more comprehensive manner.
So, in short, getting ranks will land you the interview, but once you are there, you are equal with all the candidates who are there. It doesn't matter you've secured ranks, so they'll give you the benefit. It's just your awareness, your practical skills after that point.
Yeah.
You've been Air 1 in both inter and final, worked at great organizations. When was the last time you felt completely average?
I think completely average. You're doing everything. You're doing new things every day, right? You're touching new topics. You are dealing with newer things, different people every day. So I think it just takes some time to ramp up. And when you see people, who have been maybe done it earlier in a better way, like you've just done this earlier, and you compare yourselves to them. That is when I think you could feel average. But again, you need to remember the context that you've been in, right? And how maybe this is the first time for you doing it or whatever, right? And you learn with experience. So I think that's how I deal with it. But everything new that you do or everything novel that you do or, that could make you feel a bit,
So, keep professional work aside.
Yeah.
In your life outside work, do you feel average in any aspect, be it sports?
Of course, when you go to the gym, you look at these people, you look at yourself, lifting 2 times, 3 times more weight than what I would do, right? But then again, it does feel, I don't really feel like average because I have this context in mind that I've gone to the gym for like 6 months, 7 months or whatever. Somebody who's gone there for like the last 5 years, they'll of course be better than me, right? But I don't really think of it like an average person. I always have this context at the back of my mind that, how I've started doing and how I began a particular phase. I don't really subscribe to the, being average mindset. I could objectively be average, but I don't have that mindset.
I honestly like the way you think about these things, the way you come up. Yeah, अच्छा है मतलब you even if you are average, you don't have to.
Objectively, you could be average, but
हाँ, खुद के दिमाग में why do you have to make
I
it?
have to overthink on that.
Yeah, fair.
Okay,
Good,
not-
good.
everything's not P1.
Our generation has more information, more opportunities, more career options than ever before. Why do you think that young professionals still feel lost or behind?
I think that's just a problem of comparison. If you say you are behind, I mean, you're comparing yourself to somebody else who again has had a different context, different upbringing, different, I don't know, privileges in life, probably. But I think बहुत सारे options भी है ना, so that happens with me, मतलब that happens with everybody. There's just a lot of options and a lot of options are available. You're stuck choosing between what can or cannot happen. Maybe there's, less action, more thinking. That is also true.
I can do that.
You can also do this, I can also do that.
So
You
what?
don't really eventually end up starting anything.
I didn't get your point here.
You cannot just keep thinking about what are the pros of doing this, what are the cons of doing this, what are the pros of doing B, what are the cons of doing B. and not just starting down any path, because everything has its pros and cons, right? So how do you balance everything if you're just in your mind thinking about the pros and cons and not actually starting on one particular path, right? Uh, People also think that you cannot change it later on, which could be true professionally. I'm not really sure. I mean, but you need to like be
तो आप
decisive.
ये बोलना चाह रहे मैं ये भी कर सकता हूँ, इसके प्रोस कॉन्स ये हो गए, ये कर सकता हूँ, इसके प्रोस कॉन्स ये हो गए, मैं तीसरी चीज़ कर सकता हूँ, इसके प्रोस कॉन्स
And
ये
then you just keep thinking and you don't decide
we
anything.
overthink, we can do all these things, but then we
Well, you have to
find
start
out.
something, no? You have to go down one path, maybe commit to it for a while.
Now in the era of AI,
Hmm.
AI is the biggest threat today to all the white collar jobs.
Hmm.
At least it is considered to be a threat.
Hmm.
What is your take on AI? Is it a threat or people can use it for their advantage? What is your take on AI? Will AI replace people working in finance?
I am not really educated on the fact that will AI be able to replace it. Uh, yeah. Today, till date, it's a tool that people are using, right? I mean, nobody gets their full-fledged work done from AI. In the jobs that need to have a human connection, there always will be people, right? Maybe the number goes down, maybe it stays the same. I'm not really sure, but wherever there's human creativity, taking decisions, because nobody's going to trust. I don't know if people are going to ever trust, machine to make a decision, completely without there ever being a human in the loop. It's a tool. It's a tool today. I'm not sure what happens.
If someone is starting their career in consulting, investing, or finance today, how do you think AI will change their careers in the next few coming years?
AI will change their careers in the sense that you'll probably have better qualitative output, because you can access multiple sources, right? You don't have to, maybe you don't have the time, in a short span of time, if you want to go through 10 detailed reports. I think to synthesize or to bring out crisp insights, AI will do that job better.
Do you think our generation sometimes confuses visibility with success? Means people they want to be seen more than actually giving the output, giving the results. They just want to be seen कि मैंने काम किया है.
I don't think it's like a generation problem. There are always people who just want to get seen, and there are people who work in the background. I think you need to have a mix also for you to, I mean, you cannot just be,
I mean,
cannot be just visible and then not give any output.
because at some point, life cannot only become work, money, and titles. Let's talk about friendships and life outside work. During intense study and work phases, how important were your friends in keeping you sane?
I don't really like using strong adjectives like intense, stress.
Okay, not intense.
But
While
your
studying,
question, मतलब, I try and carve time out for these activities, right? Because I also like to have fun. I'm not a very serious kind of a person who will just put themselves completely into work or studies or whatever, right? So I like to have my kind of fun, and then I like to carve time out for that.
तो आप दिन भर पढ़ाई करते थे और you used to meet friends. This will be around say 3-4 months before your exams.
मतलब अभी तुमको 5 साल पहले जाके बात करनी है तो of course I used to meet friends, and not everybody is free every day, right? मतलब you're not meeting friends every day anyways. So you just have to carve time out. मतलब I used to go out every weekend. If you want to talk about what happened
Before exam also.
yeah, मतलब like maybe not 1 month before exams.
आपका डेली रूटीन क्या होता था? टाइम टेबल तो बनाया ही होगा एक कि
But
इसने.
कितने साल हो गए, क्या पूछ
अरे
रहे हो?
कुछ तो
नहीं
एक
आएगा।
क्रक्स दे दो, आइडिया पूरा थोड़ी एग्जैक्ट वर्ड टू वर्ड, बट दिन में इतना पढ़ते थे.
इतना क्या बोलते हो? मतलब see, you have to have a goal at the end of the week, right? There's a test. मतलब मान लो you have a mock test. So before that you have to get everything completed, right? You have to give your best in the mock. You're not just going to sit there for fun or whatever. कि भाई है तो जाके बैठना है. तो उसके पहले you have to maybe plan out के अगर टेस्ट ये टाइम पे है तो you have to backtrack करके कैसे क्या सॉल्व होगा, कैसे क्या कितना टाइम किस चीज़ को देना है. You know where you are weak at, you know where you are not. But हाँ मतलब you should, अगर वो ऑब्जेक्टिव पूरा करना है, टेस्ट अच्छे से देना है, तो you have to be best prepared right before that. You have to backtrack it. मतलब maybe some subject you are strong in, so you don't really spend that much time, but something that you're weak in, you end up spending more time. That's how you approach it.
Outside work, achievements, and professional milestones, what personally makes you feel more alive?
I really like to travel and go out, right? I don't, just want to be in my home. I want to go out, मतलब do whatever, but I'm not talking about like a long haul travel या कुछ भी. I just want to step out of the house, go on a walk, right? Just do more physical things, be more interactive, talk to my friends, talk to, right, things. I don't really like being inside the house. Because I like to travel. I mean, just go around the world. Probably.
Where did you go recently?
Recent one was Japan. That's where I got these shoes also. But yeah, it was fun. It was amazing.
Do ambitious careers slowly distance people from normal life?
I think it depends on people to people. If you want to make time out, uh, even if you cannot make time out like every day or every other weekend, right? People, your friends, family should also understand. Well, they are of course understanding, but you cannot just shun them completely, right? Because your friends will call you once, twice, thrice. But you keep on saying no, nobody's going to keep calling you, right? Every other weekend. So of course you have to make time for that. I would not say it, completely distances you, but that's a decision that people take.
What is your personal experience on this topic? Has there been a
Mm.
time where you being completely into a cost problem in your relationships or friendships?
No, hasn't happened yet. Uh, right? Because again, as I said, mine is like very it's sprints of work, right? It's not all the time. You're not shoved in work, but again, it's sprints of work. And I am from a different city. My friends are there, right? So I go to my hometown often. I meet them. I keep meeting them. They come here, right? They also keep coming here. So we keep meeting often. But again, depends on the fact. If you have like 15 friends, I don't think you can make time for everybody and anybody.
All are
I
doing.
have a smaller group of people, so it's easier for me personally to, take that time out. But if you have like a 20 people group, I don't know how do you.
I think people underestimate how much personal life affects professional life. Once you become the smart, successful guy, do people stop allowing you to fail?
Meaning that I have been quite fortunate in terms of that. None of my friends, family, whoever, right? They're quite supportive of whatever you want to do. Nobody is expecting you to be perfect all the time. So I have that cushion. I'm quite privileged in terms of that I don't really have to, solve for all of that. I mean, my parents are comfortable. They don't really expect that I contribute to household, whatever, today, right? So they're quite supportive of the fact, and they let me explore. They let me do things on my on my conditions. And think that's the problem that I have faced.
This is a very good thing for someone to have with him. Even if you're someone struggling in life, तुम figure out कर रहे हो काम, because this is a very crucial age, early 20s, late 20s. The best thing you can have your family members to be supportive. That's the best privilege one can have while figuring things out. That's a great thing.
Agree.
A lot of people see the achievement, very few see the sacrifices behind it. What sacrifices quietly happened in your journey that nobody noticed?
Again, I don't like subscribing to words like sacrifice, stress, intense, whatever. But you have to like why prioritize things, and you cannot be like I don't know, sacrifice thoda glorified word hai. What are we doing that needs sacrifice, right? I mean, some days you have to do your work, some days you have time. You cannot be firm on the fact कि मुझे आज इसी Saturday बाहर जाना है. तो when you start doing that, work or whatever you are prioritizing starts feeling like a burden. And that's not how you look at things.
It doesn't have to feel like a
It doesn't have to feel like a sacrifice. I mean, something needs to be honest, needs to be done, right? If you start calling whatever you are not doing it as sacrifice, it may start feeling like a burden.
which is not going to help you in the long run. You will get fed up of the work or whatever you're doing, not just work, be it anything personally also.
ये सब वर्ड्स मेरे को पसंद ही नहीं है.
But ऐसा
Use it.
पढ़ाई के टाइम कभी तो ऐसा चिड़चिड़ हुआ रहेगा एकदम.
हाँ तो but it's something that needs to be done, right? You chose.
तो मत करो सी है.
You chose it.
करना तो पड़ेगा. सही यार. You don't come across like any other by the books ranker. You seem more socially aware.
By the books क्या होता है?
By the books मतलब you have an image कि इसको रैंक आए, पढ़ता ही होगा, मेहनती होगा, एकदम थोड़ा सोशल लाइफ इतना नहीं होगा. You have an
That's social media ना. आप कितने लोगों को जानते हो personally? I don't know. I don't have an answer to this.
मतलब ऐसा मानना है कोई भी सीए का होगा कि अगर ये रैंकर है तो दिन भर पढ़ता होगा, एकदम पढ़ाकू होगा. सोशली इतना नहीं एक्टिव होगा, मिलता होगा लोगों को.
परसेप्शन नो, मतलब आप कैसे जज कर सकते हो अनलेस यू स्पोकन टू द पर्सन. आई डोंट नो, कुड बी ट्रू, बट या
Could be true,
हाँ,
could be not.
could
But
be not, yeah, we don't.
but to get there, रैंक लाना है तो ऐसा नहीं कि यू आर नॉट, मतलब तुम्हें वो लाइफ जीनी ही पड़ेगी कहीं ना कहीं. रैंक लाना है तो ऐसा नहीं सब मैनेज करके तुम ला लो. दैट कैन बी एन एक्सेप्शन.
Mm.
थोड़े लोग कर सकते हैं, बट मास मेजोरिटी विल हैव टू पुट इन द टाइम.
Everybody has to put in the time, but you cannot be calling that putting in the time as matlab, if putting in the time is all that it takes, then you will have to do it, right? Matlab, there's no excuse or there's no glorifying it के भाई कर दिया तो बहुत बड़ी बात हो.
He's doing it for himself.
हाँ, मतलब yeah.
And somewhere in all this, people start questioning what success even means.
That happens.
So,
Happens.
very good question on this thing. If someone listening to this feels confused, behind in life, or pressured to make it, what would you genuinely want them to understand? Even I'm feeling lost. I didn't clear my CA final. I'm planning to give both the groups in November. I also want to start working in the finance field given I've completed my CF. I also want to work more on this podcast. So what would you advise me as I'm completely lost? What I have to do?
मतलब just for you specifically, I think मतलब you should stop thinking कि भाई ये कर सकते हैं वो कर सकते हैं. Again, like just give enough time to everything. Like your answer to I want to work in finance, right? That will happen only after you clear your CA, right? You cannot. I mean, if you want to start working in finance, you should just start doing that right now. Stop thinking about it. If you want to clear your CA, मतलब just give all your efforts and time, and do that. Prioritize that first. You cannot be juggling 3-4 different directions, right? In a single go. Matlab, how can you stretch yourself so much? And you're not doing justice to any of the work streams that you are, taking up. So you should put more and enough concentrated efforts in one singular direction, and stop thinking about outcomes or what will happen or what else can I do.
Not me. If you want to answer this to people in general, many people, abhi recently result aaya, most of them, mass majority doesn't clear. What will be your message? What to do now? Every person must be feeling demotivated.
I cannot answer for everybody, because my answers will again come from the same place of like privilege that I come from, right? I cannot be like, take your time, figure out what you want to do, because I always have had that cushion where I can take the time and there's no pressure on me to start earning or start contributing. So that's where my answers will come from, and that's not true for a lot of people.
किसी किसी के हालात होते हैं ऐसे.
Where you have to step up and do the work. I would recommend, I mean, मैं ऐसे भी नहीं बोल सकता कि don't worry about it so much, because people have to worry about it.
सबको इस टाइम प्रिविलेज नहीं होता.
Yeah, like not everybody has the same, right, circumstances. Again, just like concentrated efforts in one direction. Be very calculative about what you do, what you don't do, how to approach, right, how to strategize. I think you should just keep more focus on that, keep practicing, right, whatever helps, just in the context of CA final exams, right? Maybe give more mocks, be very objective in your preparation. Essay, like don't like plan in the air, bring something out on paper.
लो जो चीज ले रहे हो अच्छे से पूरा ही
Outcome driven work you should do.
क्या है सर? If you see someone, if you meet someone, what is the first thing you want to know about them in general?
Slightly anti people. I don't really want to know about people. And I have a limited set of people that I talk to.
ठीक है, आपको what do you feel when you know someone is coming to talk to you specifically because of your title, your rank, your
I don't like that.
कैसा लगता है? हमें क्या चलता है, क्या बोलना चाहते
There are better and bigger things to talk about than this.
हैं? Then just this rank.
Yeah. Be like, wow, like मेरे को और कोई दिख जाता. Even if I was like whatever, like no rank, I would not just go and say कि वाह भाई क्या काम कर दिया, क्या काम कर.
तुम कितनी give to that. कुछ ढंग के ये शायद ऐसा हो सकता है.
Yeah, because
See, have it, you maybe हाँ.
No, but I don't think I genuinely would have. Even if I did not have it, I would not just give people
attach this much value to rank.
because this not give people this much attention. This is this fact. Okay, भाई.
मैं तो जिसको भी बोल रहा हूँ, मैंने जिनको भी बताया ना आपके बारे में.
अरे तो वो just
वो नहीं, ये
little bit informational, like this. I don't know what it is, but
मतलब वो
Okay.
सुनते हैं ना, बट व्हेन आई पर्सनली स्पोक विद यू, बात किया बैठ के, पता चला नॉर्मली यार अपने जैसे वी कैन टॉक अबाउट एनीथिंग एंड
नॉर्मली
एवरीथिंग।
होना चाहिए ना, मतलब एक एग्जाम में तुम कुछ फोड़ दो तो इसका ये थोड़ी मतलब होता है कि भाई दुनिया आपकी।
हाँ मतलब दूसरे लोग भले ही वैसा, पीपल फ्रॉम अदर इकोसिस्टम्स दे माइट फाइंड इट वेरी नॉर्मल कैजुअल, बट जो आपके फ्रेटर्निटी के लोग हैं, फॉर देम इट इज अ बिग थिंग समवेयर।
बट देन हाँ, मे बी आई वुड ऐड वैल्यू टू द फैक्ट कि भाई रैंक लाने वजह से इसको क्या क्या जॉब मिल गया, या बट देन अगेन टुडे पता नहीं। हाँ मतलब ठीक है, अगर आपके पास कुछ होता है तो यू डोंट वैल्यू इट, वॉट एवर वी डिस्कस, राइट? सब नहीं होता है तब
इफ
हम बिजनेस।
वो तो होता है भाई, आता है। इफ इट वर नॉट फॉर सीए, इफ यू वर नॉट डूइंग सीए, व्हाट वुड यू बी डूइंग टुडे?
नहीं, आई डोंट नो। ये आंसर मैंने एक बार दिया था, बहुत ट्रोल हो गया।
उस पे भारी पड़ा।
हाँ।
What excites you besides finance या ये private equity? What excites you?
I think consumer in general just excites me, the kind of products that come out, right? I mean, थोड़ा सा materialistic हो गया ये, but this consumer in general, I just like the vibrancy and the spread of products that's available. Maybe.
FMCG
Yeah,
products.
FMCG. I really like that. Just because of how vibrant and fun it looks from outside. I mean, it's a very difficult sector to be in.
Is there any
Corporate.
specific thing in FMCG? FMCG is a wide varied.
Me and not have the time to think about what in FMCG. मतलब जैसे मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, just how wide and you know, it's so tangible.
Vibrant.
हाँ.
You can do anything and
You
everything.
will look at it. I mean, products we use all throughout the day, right? Not just FMCG, FMCG, just consumer products, like whatever, suitcase. अब कुछ भी बोल दो.
Not just ऐसा day-to-day life.
Yeah, so I like that. उसमें अब क्या करता मैं मेरे को नहीं पता कि क्या करता.
But कुछ तो करते हैं उसी में. If not CA.
Probably, yeah.
There's a rapid fire round just for fun. Let's do it.
मैं रैपिड फायर आंसर नहीं देता, मैं कॉन्टेक्स्ट दूंगा ही फिर भी.
नहीं, ये तो rapid fire. You have to choose this or that. नहीं. One finance role that is overhyped.
Financial, that's overhyped. No, it's over.
मतलब बाहर से looks very, but अंदर जाके हाँ.
वो हर काम ऐसे ही होता है यार, बाहर से ही सब.
तो इनमें सबसे ज्यादा कौन सा है? IBP, equity research, front end roles हो गए.
अरे nothing is no.
But
Everything
these
is equally overhyped.
are they overhyped? पहला question ये है. Are they overhyped?
Given the exclusivity, I think a lot of people talk about these. That's the hype, right? Just given like a very select pool of people work in these jobs, and there are like 20 people eyeing for 2 jobs. I think that's where the hype comes from. So I would not call it like overhyped, but 2 people like
Compared to other roles. Compared to other roles. Supply कम है इसीलिए शायद हाँ ऐसा है.
that is the hype comes from, right? 20 people eyeing for 2 jobs.
One thing people fake too much professionally.
That they know everything. Everybody's learning, I think. Well, you should not try faking that you know things. I think it's acceptable that you don't know answer to whatever questions.
Nice. One personality trait more valuable than intelligence.
Just being calm. Being calm and composed, even in high stress situations. That's very important.
Something money can never fix.
Money can never fix.
बहुत पैसा कमा लिया बट फिर भी ये प्रॉब्लम तो होगी. डोंट से हेल्प प्रॉब्लम्स. ऐसा प्रैक्टिकली कुछ एकदम.
Money cannot fix how you like maintain your relations or behave with people, right? That's very inherent. Like, I don't know even if money is relevant in this conversation, but yeah, whatever money you make does not fix how you behave or what your
Money cannot buy class.
हाँ.
A life lesson that took you longer to understand than it should have. काश मैंने पहले ही समझ ली होती ये चीज.
You have to be like street smart and not you. I think you have to be more confident when dealing with people. Just be. I don't know how to explain this, but just like be more operative. You should be able to handle operations well. घर में आपके कोई event हो रहा है, school में कोई event हो रहा है. You should just be able to handle those things well, take calls, take decisions.
Adaptability.
हाँ, I think. No, that's important. मतलब वो कभी भी help करता ही है. मतलब you should be more active in school, take part in events or whatever. I did not do that. I think I do that well now. But हाँ, that's important.
One thing that instantly humbles ambitious people.
That humbles ambitious people. Like
Successful, ambitious people at good roles. At least considered good from the outside. What easily humbles them? जमीन पे ला लेते हैं.
somebody doing better than them probably I'm best them.
The message of this podcast is not success is meaningless. The message is no degree, no rank, no company, no salary magically solves life. Everyone is figuring things out in real time. Even the people society puts on a pedestal, and life is much bigger than resumes, titles, and LinkedIn headlines.
और हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों चलेगा ना मेरी इंग्लिश बार बार आ जाती है
We'll get content, and people would want to listen to this thing.
नहीं क्या क्वेश्चन है ये बहुत था थोड़ा सिंपल करना भाई मेरे को तो समझ में नहीं आया क्वेश्चन नहीं 20 तक ठीक था उसके बाद भाई गेटिंग द स्पेसिफिक्स मैन
Let's talk about AI. AI is
भाई
the
ये AI कहाँ से आ गया अभी बीच में
नहीं.
व्हाट डज पलक थिंक मतलब आई वांट टू नो व्हाट डू यू थिंक
About, sorry,
AI and tools
it will not replace any job, but in my field, it definitely helps us a lot.
what making
Because
creatives
You can do, yeah. इतना ही है.
this is a better answer than whatever we are discussing क्या है
3 जगह आर्टिकल प्लस एक इंडस्ट्रियल ट्रेनिंग.
चलो क्यों आई कीप रोटेटिंग सॉरी